Good morning, Will and Marcy.
Morning.
Morning.
About noontime, it's a stunning, beautiful day here in Maine. It's starting to feel like summer, even though what's today, June 10th. Mm-hmm. So it's the day after your wedding date, which was June 9th.
Yeah.
I was just asking you, so you were going to leave this morning, however, you made a different decision.
That's right. Well, our wedding spilled heavily into June 10th. Early this morning, we didn't get very much sleep, and so we didn't really have, the sort of the constitution required to drive even the very short distance back to Boston. Plus, there are amazing opportunities of things you can do on the property that we didn't really get to do because we were preparing all these last minute things. So we decided if they had another space, which they did, that we would stay another day.
Fantastic. Yeah. So you're off in your little cottage here for the night, and you can maybe take a boat out later or just have a little time to spend together now that you're a married couple instead of a planning your wedding couple.
Now we'll be talking about our wedding couple.
That's right, talking about your wedding couple.
Robin worked with us a lot. She was wonderful, really wonderful. So I interact with her in a variety of ways, but mainly over email.
For instance, if you were to search her email for the word Robin, there would be thousands of emails. Thousands. Instantly, Robin, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
and thank you.
And thank you.
She was so helpful, and this sounds really silly, but she often uses an exclamation point, which is just so friendly, and I always noticed it made me feel less like I can keep asking her questions because she doesn't mind, because there's an exclamation point every time.
And tell us about your rehearsal dinner.
It rained on Friday.
It did rain, yeah.
And it was, possibly we could have still done it because the rain kind of, blown over, but it was much better at moving inside.
Great.
And Jed made that call. He's sort of always wandering around with his little radar thing, monitoring the weather very closely.
I like that.
Yeah, I trusted his opinion on the matter. Yeah, so we just did it in the main, reception room, and it was great.
It was great, and it was great because they put the picnic table cloths out. In the end, I'm actually glad it was inside, which I thought I'd be disappointed about, but it was just so fun. It would have been fun outside. It was just as fun inside.
And that room actually is very easy to either make it look pretty rustic, like cookout style, or to dress it up to make it look like a really elegant kind of reception room. And we did I'd say a fairly standard ceremony. We didn't use amplification of any kind, and it was fun.
Perfect.
We only had about 125 guests, so I think maybe if there was considerably more than that, maybe it would have been more difficult to hear. But at that size, I think it was actually the more kind of elegant and sort of simple way to go. Nice. And then we got to to also leave by boat, and there was a sign hanging off of the back of the boat, that says "Just Married," which is nice. And I'll have to admit, I'm a little disappointed that there weren't cans jangling behind it.
But Robin would have probably made it happen if we asked.
She probably would have. Yeah.
I should have emailed her.
So, how about your food experience other than Friday night? How about yesterday? So you had breakfast yesterday morning. I have to think what day is this? Yes, and then your wedding in the evening. And so, how did your food experience evolve, and how did it turn out?
It's funny. We feel like we asked a lot of questions throughout the process to Robin. We worked with Robin about the menu and kind of thought about things, but in the end, really went with what they suggested. Pretty much all of what they suggested, I think. I think we asked for maybe one or two small changes. They were very open to us having our own ideas, but in the end we just came around, and food was fantastic. I think a lot of people comment about that. I think people like the breakfast especially, the donuts, the cod cakes, the crispy bacon. That was my favorite this morning. But the food was delicious.
Great.
Really, really delicious.
Also, we were excited about the fact that the stuff that they have kind of as their standard canon of menu items are interesting sounding and sound really good, and they're pretty enthusiastic about it. So we like the idea of them just doing something that they really know well and really feel comfortable with.
It kind of reflected the menu.
It totally did, right?
You could it felt like the types of food you get right here.
Great.
You should get right here.
And they're clearly very competent kitchens, so I'm sure they could accommodate, special requests. But like I thought, their menu just it just was correct, So
Great.
it was good.
And did you have wedding cake?
We did.
We did.
Yeah.
We did not have it cut with a Japanese samurai sword, as Will wanted.
Despite my best efforts.
He asked if we could use a katana to cut the cake. And I didn't say no, but I just didn't really bring it up again.
Probably were some, safety issues involved.
I know. I just, can you
Marriage,
imagine
it's all
just
about
like
compromise,
this?
right?
So the cake was just very simple. I talked to Charity, the pastry chef, over email. She sent some photos. I sent some photos, but in the end, just ended up going with this very simple 3-layered cake. And Marcia Davis was our florist, so she brought some flowers. It was just white frosting with raspberry inside. It was delicious. In fact, I got a bit distracted, not surprisingly, during dessert. So then, after the party was winding down, people were going to the party to have some after party in the cabins. I went back in because there was something from my grandfather's golf trophy we used for our bouquet on our table, and I just wanted to make sure I grabbed it. And there was all this cake left on the table, half eaten, so I ate your cake, half eaten. Apparently I'd had a few bites of mine. I had mine, and then I took one from my mom's table. The lights are
I really appreciate you spending this time with me. I know you've had quite a time of it, and you've got family still here to say goodbyes to and to sit down and relax with. So I really appreciate the time, and
thanks.
we at Migis wish you the very best, and send you on your way with good wishes, and hopes that you'll come back and see us sometime.
Oh, well,
Absolutely.
definitay. We're going to
Yeah.
come back with like all our groups of friends, hopefully.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, we got to come here together.
Yeah.
It's like, let's talk about that tomorrow. I'm not organizing anything right now, but definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.